I was 20 again and I had the opportunity to travel, to relocate, to move for greener pastures for whatever reason, I'll do things completely different. I'm talking now 20 years later as a 40-year-old woman who I would say has accomplished a lot, but I've gotten to a point in life where I'm taking stock of what has happened, where I am, and where I want to go to. And it's made me start thinking about all the choices, decisions that I had made when I was a younger person. And that's why I have been motivated to produce these videos, to give back, because that's what you guys want to see. And in my way I do it, I'll always tell a story. And I am creating this video today because there's a lot of buzz about relocating. Everywhere, everybody I know back home, people are talking about opportunities to move, family, friends. I want to come. Most of them want to come to study. Most of them want to come to work. And it's just made me think that this outlet that I have where I can talk to a lot of you, it's not a bad idea to share the honest truths. It's not always a bed of roses. When you tell people this, people that you know personally, they think, really? Really? Wow. You want to tell me not to come? You have the guts after being in the UK for 20 years to tell me not to come? Why are you there? And that's the popular thing they always say. For me, it's so last year. There's no need for that. Or I don't have to see something going completely wrong, but because it's not happened to me, I cannot advise you. Or it's because it's happened to me, it must happen to you. Now, there is nothing wrong with wanting to relocate for different reasons. In fact, I am big on traveling. I've gone to, over the past, say, 7 years, I've been to almost 15 countries. I've been to a lot of cities, almost 25, 30, more than the average African. Because the times that I've just taken a flight and gone to a small village in Italy because I want to taste a particular meal. And that's one thing that I've learned, is that traveling is one of the biggest ways that you can educate yourself, enlighten yourself, broaden your horizons. And it's actually investing in yourself, because I feel like the best investment is on yourself. That's what I know now. But I've known this now for about 5 years, so I'm not in any way trying to prevent people from traveling. All I'm saying is, before you travel, ask yourself these questions. And the 3 main things I'll ask: why am I traveling? Do I plan on coming back? And can I do things different? Based on data that I've seen in Europe with the immigration numbers, net immigration numbers, most people travel out for 3 reasons. It's not a secret. 1, work opportunities. 2, study. And 3, family. I could class family as people who are traveling as well for holidays or just leisure. I'll start with the last. If you're traveling for leisure, for holidays, come right in. I love people like that, because that is a good way, especially if you're younger, you're free. Travel if you're able to, because what you learn, the cultures that you meet, and the fact that you'll come and see what it is, it might just deter you from making the mistakes that I want to correct in the other points. It is amazing to travel. Please do. And it's a form of self-love. It's a form of self-care, and I'm big on it. But if you're traveling, say, to work, I'm no expert, by the way. I'm just talking about experience. I have a lot of people I've mentored over the years, and I try to educate myself by reading. The first thing I'll say about this situation with work is, are you planning on going back? 1, do you have a family already? 2, and do you actually have a job? No, don't lie to yourself. We all understand. I'll ask you again. Do you plan on going back? Do you actually have a job, or do you just want to travel? And do you have a family? I ask this again because most of us nowadays, we know what's happening. People have called me in destitute, in desperation, left Africa, they've left home. Either they've been sold a dream, or they know that there's no dream, but there is so much desperation to travel out and work. Even when you know that there's no job, you think, well, I'm abroad, I'll make it happen. And we know that, but we want to come. And it's even worse when we bring our family. Yes, we'll hustle, we'll make it happen. But the thing that I really don't want us to lose is we have a continent. If you are in a country where you're deprived of having opportunities to work, look around before you come to Europe, because it could end up worse. I'm not going to dwell too much on that, because I think that we all watching this, if you're mature, you'll know if you have a family, don't think about what you're going to earn. Don't think. I made that mistake years ago, and I really hate to call my experiences mistakes, because I think they happen for a reason. But I'll still say that when I had just one child, I think I was 24, I went back home and I got a few, this is in Africa, by the way, West Africa. I had a few offers in the banking sector, and the pay was 1/3 what I get in the UK. I did the maths, and instead of me doing the proper maths, I thought, oh no, my standards are too high. I did not factor in childcare cost. And at the time when I had just one child, who is, over 15 now, well over 15, we're paying £780 for nursery cost a month. You will not spend £250 back home, because one, you have family who can help, and there are other things to consider. So when you see this job, think about the living cost. Think about the quality of your life, how you might even grow distant from your spouse because of the busy life. Think about the lack of what you're used to, which gives you a cushion. Think about the loneliness during the winter months. There's this particular Christmas, I can never forget this Christmas. I used to work in retail in Asda, and during what you in the US you guys call Walmart. And that particular Christmas, I forgot to stock up. So I had worked, because when you're a student, you have 18 hours, and then you have some leeway to work out of your study time, extra unlimited hours during holidays. So I was so excited. I thought, oh, I'll make all this money. And I was doing back-to-back shifts. I remember my last shift, the shops closed at midnight on the 24th that year, and I did not even think I was going to get home. I had to take a taxi because the last bus had gone, and it was 24th. I had scanned somebody's turkey at midnight, and the tills closed, and I did not even have a meal for myself. I went home, took a taxi, got home, climbed on my bed, opened my fridge, and I had, I think, some fish fingers in my freezer and chips. Back then I used to eat very unhealthy, not like now. And I thought, oh my God, looked in my freezer, nothing. But I was not bothered. I was, when you're young, in your 20s, you don't really care about food. I climbed on my bed and I thought, oh, I can rest Christmas Day. I woke up and I cried, because I felt I think back then we did not have direct ways to call. My mom called, how are you spending Christmas? What's happening? I said, Mom, I'm in bed. And she's like, oh, here, there's a lot going on. I miss you. When she put that phone down, I cried. I sat in my room. We did not have Sky like now, where you have different channels. You have Netflix, you have your phones, you can watch videos on YouTube. No, we had analog TV, where you have the first 5 channels. BBC 1, BBC 2, ITV 1, Channel 4, Channel 5. And that was what I was watching. I think ITV 2 and ITV 2+1, or ITV 3, BBC 3, BBC 4. It was depressing. I binged watched all of the things that I like to watch. I used to like to watch comedy, very English comedy back then. I watched all of that. I flicked channels and I was in my PJs till 6 p.m. I had nothing to eat, but I had been working and I was so lonely. And that was my second Christmas in the UK in 2005 or 6. That loneliness is priceless. Even your quality of life is reduced. Imagine me then, if you have a family and you're separating from them to come and work and earn what you believe is a lot of money. You forget that you're going to be paying your bills. Forget that you have to send money back home. You have to think about your transport, your eating, the things that you're familiar eating, all of those things. So before you move and you find it interesting, consider all of these things. And if it still seems plausible, that's fine. But the exception is, I watched a video of this lady, a Nigerian YouTuber, recently, I think Adaize's space. She was moving with her family. It was interesting because she did her due diligence, and I just thought that moving like an expat is the only way I'll move if I was back home, where you have your cost of living sorted, because you're moving like an expatriate. You are moving like a professional, so your family can come and they don't have to work. But if you have to up sticks, come and do care jobs, think again. This is very controversial because people want to come, work, and think about long term that. And if you decide to move, of course you're an adult. And the last category I'll talk about are students, and that is where I fell under when I came here. I've not really said my full immigration story because it's too long, but I'll sneak some time one of these days to have a chat with you guys. Maybe I'll try and I don't want to ever go live, and maybe do a video for some particular people that watch my channel. I'm trying to get memberships because people have asked me personal questions which I don't really want to share, so I might do some videos for them. If you're interested, just let me know what you want to see, and I can do dedicated videos for members only because there's such a thing on YouTube anyway. And ask yourself this question again if you want to come and study. 1, are you coming to study and go back? 2, what do you actually want to study? And 3, can you find a similar institution out of Europe where you pay less? I'm saying this because 1, whatever you want to study, think about if you're going back. That's why the underlying question is, are you going back? If you're going back, think about things that are vibrant. And I'll have to give this up to Nigerians. Most of the Nigerians in my class when I came to study have all gone back. The economy I'm saying was now, I was talking almost 20 years ago, would welcome people to study and go back, as opposed to where I come from. A lot of you have been asking me, and I'll share in due course, okay, where most people are fleeing because of opportunities. If you're looking to go back, please think about where Africa is right now and where Europe was years ago. They have swapped places, so there's opportunities, especially if you want to go into things like engineering. Not just one aspect. There's petroleum engineering, construction, civil engineering, petroleum engineering, there's civil engineering, there is mechanical engineering. All of these fields are vibrant at the moment because if you think about it, we are constructing the economies back home now. They're building roads, so we need civil engineers. There's lots of natural resources, so we need drilling engineers, petroleum engineers. We're trying to design the country, so we need planners, we need architects. These are all fields that I think are vibrant. Also, things like IT and security is beginning to start having relevance in governments. So think that if you want to go back, before you come, don't just come because you want to travel, because you're paying a lot of money for your fees. Think about the fields that have opportunities in your country and see if you can come and study here before you come, if you're planning to go back. If you're planning to stay, it has to be a different ball game. You have to be flexible enough. So if you're looking to stay here, then you think of things like cyber security, graphic designs, health fields like doctors, nurses. Those are all fields that will do well here. So being honest initially about what you want to do will save you spending thousands. If you realize how expensive it is to study, once you're finished and you convert the money, my master's 20 years ago was about £9,500. The equivalent of that now is £19,000, and people are paying it to do courses that they plan not going back. Don't lie to yourself. Don't waste money. Think about what you want to do. Like I said, we're in a vibrant time being an African with a lot of development going on. Like I talked about petroleum, mining, all sorts, agriculture. There are things that you can go into, botany. There are things that you can do. So ask yourself those questions if you stumble on this video and go into a field that you will not just tick a box, but you're actually doing what you love and what you would work in. And the other question I'll ask myself is, are there professional institutions that you can go down, the different bodies that either govern a particular field, govern a particular employment, or govern a particular training. For example, accountants. There is a bit of a controversy why we Africans want to do degrees, general degrees, as opposed to going to professional qualifications. Because if you're abroad, you will accept with me that most people who start their careers very quickly and grow up in the ranks start with professional careers like accountants, going to having a chartered institute of accounting and finance, going to being a chartered accountant quicker than just doing a degree in accounting. Perhaps you can think of even my field. You don't have to go and be do a degree in logistics and supply chain. I've told people this many times because they're still out without jobs. Because when you're in a field like an accredited body, and ours is called SIPS, Chartered Institute of Purchasing and Supply Management, you network, you have better practical experiences because you are working in a particular field where you would most likely be going for a job and get it. So think about all of this before you decide to, and every field you think of strangely has a body. Even photography, even biologists, physicists, chemists, doctors, everything. You just have to think more practically nowadays. We're in 2024. We're not 30 years ago where people just did degrees because your granddad did a degree, your grandfather did a degree, and you have to think out of the box. So if you're traveling this far to pay all this money, don't make those mistakes, because these are practical things nobody tells you. They tell you to travel, they don't tell you about the what it entails, the actual things that you could do. And the other thing I want to say back on this point of traveling is there are a lot of institutions in Africa, not even Africa, even the Caribbean, that medical schools that you will not have to pay £30,000, or in the US where you have to pay thousands of dollars. There's Nigeria that has a very good university in Lagos. There's the top, I think in South Africa, they have one of the top medical schools ranked and the top 10 or top 100 in the world. There are places in Ghana where you can study logistics, supply chain. There are places in certain islands in the Caribbean. But people migrate and still want to come here. Why? Why have we been so brainwashed and have no confidence in our own selves? There's the University in Ghana, top medical university. There's Kabale University as well in Africa, top medical university. There's also the University of Ibadan College of Medicine. There are a lot in Africa. Why do we? Back then, people actually went to universities in Nigeria, especially the law school, which is still doing so well, the medical schools that are doing well, trained and then decided to maybe relocate, being more mature, not having to spend so much money, come here, do maybe one or two courses to convert their degrees and leave it. Those are kind of intelligent choices that we should be making. We can learn from people's mistakes. We don't have to make them again. So that's what I'll just share. If my thoughts on if you're looking to relocate, the first things to ask yourself and the basic homework to do. And if after all of this you still want to relocate for whatever reason, of course it's a fantastic thing. Just thinking of traveling, getting a better life, please, by all means. And the next video that I want you to watch is the first things that you should do once you get abroad. I'll talk about the UK because I can say that I have experience doing this, and the particular things that I'll advise anybody to do first for your chances of success to be heightened. If you've enjoyed this video, my silent friends, then just give us a like, maybe share. I'll be sharing valuable knowledge. And if you've seen me wearing this particular outfit, because I batch film my contents on a particular day, and yes, so thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Consider subscribing if it's helped, and yeah, bye bye. Thank you. Bye.